Biden probably is ignorant of economics and all that, right? So he may or may not know the truth. Who knows? And even if he knew yesterday, he might not know today. But either way, no matter what, he's not going to tell you the truth, even if he does know.
Relative rants today. My friend Kyle Lawson, Mike's joining us today. Kyle and I did it by ourselves last week because you were smoking last week, right?
Apparently, yeah. I smoked a whole fire.
Mike was up at the Emerge Men's
Conference.
Yeah,
in
so
Campo, California.
Yeah, he had a great time, but they had a big bonfire, and he got a big dose of smoke. So his voice will be weak today, and if you're used to Mike, that's not a problem that he has. So
I got a question, Tom. I'm gone for a week, and we're back to calling it relative rants.
Oh, relevant.
Relevant. It is relevant.
Well, guys, you know me. I gotta block you.
Tomato.
Oh, it's all the same.
I'm the elder on the show.
It's all relative.
Yeah, I'm the elder on the show.
I think all that matters is the rant part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's jump into this. So, hey, I guess MSNBC editor slams Top Gun. It says he says, I hope it tanks at the Oscars. I mean,
Did you see the movie?
Yes, I did.
It was great.
Well, what's funny is the Oscar tanked and the movie did great.
Yeah.
But
nobody watched the Oscars. Everybody watched.
But his reasoning why it makes pro-military look too good. He said that's poisionous. It's like, hello.
It was a positive image on America. Oh, Lord forbid that, right?
Hey, what happened this week? Two Soviet jets apparently, crashed one of our drones. I mean, we want to look pro-military in that situation, right?
Not to immediately go off topic, but did you see that video that was going around about the military, and it was other countries' advertisements for joining the military, and then ours?
Yes.
That was
ours waving a rainbow flag or
something like that, and it was like very peaceful and delicate, and I'm not against whatever.
flower.
Like I don't know enough about I just remember it was like peaceful and thoughtful. I'm like, that's a country I would want to go to war with because they don't seem very bad.
Right.
And then you look at the other ones, and it's a bunch of guys that I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll pass. No thanks.
Well, there again, it's just crazy that you get an editor at MSNBC, and he wanted it to tank. But hey, guess what? The movie was incredible. The Oscars.
Well, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine last night about this.
But I didn't watch it. I just read about the Oscars.
The thing is, like, the libs get all of this attention because they're loud and noisy because they don't got jobs. They got nothing better to do. But
get in front of their keyboards. That's a lot of work. Mike.
Yeah, right. Right. Keyboard warriors. But really, there's more Americans that believe the way we do than what most people want to think there is.
Yeah. So hey, there again, Tom Cruise, keep cranking those male macho testosterone movies. We like those.
Yes, we do.
One of the things I love about my wife, and I love a lot of things about my wife, but my wife likes action movies. She doesn't like chick flicks and stuff like that.
Well, Davey does too.
She loves Tom Cruise in the movies and so like that. So
she probably likes Tom Cruise too.
Yeah, she does. That's the first name that she likes.
Got it.
No,
he wasn't as big as you.
No, but he could. Yeah, but he looks good. So hey, our next story comes up with some friends of ours. A lot of you out there know the Daily Wire is close to us because my daughter is their talent manager, and I think the Daily Wire does a great job.
Didn't
and I know
she just recently get a promotion?
Yes, she did. She's I don't know if it's director of talent or
that's what I think you said.
Yeah. So thank you, Daily Wire. But Michael knows. I know Michael. He's a friend. And this week, I guess President Biden and Jean-Pierre, or Karine Jean-Pierre, repeats a false claim that Michael Knowles for eradication of transgender
So they're doubling
people.
down on it. They're doubling down on the claim.
But the crazy thing, it's a falsehood, and they know it's a falsehood because they have Michael Knowles recorded saying what he did say was it's the thought about the transgender ideology that men become women or women become men. He says we need to eradicate that thought that can happen, that you can become a man from a woman or a woman from a man.
Well, I just had another conversation about this yesterday.
He said that thought should be eradicated. So now they're spreading the lie, the president of the United States and his press secretary. She's got a hard job. You know, I thought this the other day. I felt bad for her because she got a hard job. How do you defend a person
Oh, yeah.
that's really not awake most of the day? Right?
Yeah, I started cracking up. They said he doesn't wake up. He doesn't do anything before 9 o'clock. I'm like,
My day's half over before 9 o'clock.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, but then again, we got to give him consideration because he's old.
Yeah.
Should he be president? That's the key. I don't know. So they spread this falsehood, but now we have the courts telling the Powerlifting Association that they have to let transgender powerlifters compete with women. But now the Powerlifting Association is saying this is going to destroy female weightlifting.
Yeah.
Come on, we got to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Men are going to be stronger. Well, they've already proven this scientifically. Men are stronger because they've grown up with testosterone. Even though you give them blockers, they're turning out to be stronger. So it's going to destroy powerlifting. I mean, it just is going to happen. So
It's
Michael,
unfortunate. It's like just to me, if I'm a woman powerlifter, so do we disregard women's NBA versus regular? Like, where does it stop?
well, you know what's crazy is
That's
there's not
not
going to be
cool,
any
you know?
women competing with the men because they want to compete with the men's powerlifting because they're going to lose.
That's my point, right?
Yeah, it's just going the other way.
Yeah.
Men becoming women because they know they're inherently stronger.
Yeah.
And so you've got the powerlifting doing it, and then Pope Francis gets kind of put on the hot seat, because he talked about gender identity. Identity is one of the most dangerous ideological colonizations today. So didn't he say exactly what Michael Knowles said?
Yeah. Pretty much just in other words.
Like the ideology. I mean,
And if you think about like the theme of a few of those topics, like there are tons of things my wife is better than me at.
yeah.
There's only a couple
Women
things
can
I'm
do
better
anything.
at. Like,
Women can do anything men can do when it comes to jobs or
Yeah.
mental things. But I mean,
if she needs something slightly heavy or dangerous
The peanut
done,
butter
she calls
jar?
me.
The peanut butter
she
jar,
calls me.
pickle jar?
Anything else goes to her. I mean, organization, build, anything with any intellect, it goes to her. But you're taking away that from a woman whenever you like start to do all of this. Oh, men can be no, I could never be as intelligent, or I could never do some of these things my wife does ever.
Do you guys get it? The same thing I do. My wife will struggle with the pickle jar or the peanut butter jar and come over and put it in front of me.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys get that?
Uh-huh.
Well, we're just talking a simple jar. And a lot of times I'll just crack it open and she goes, "Thank you." I go, "No, you loosen it up for me."
Yeah.
I think,
Give her a little credit.
yeah, it is. So the Pope is saying the same thing. He takes some heat from it, and then this is a cool one because it includes Bakersfield, our hometown, where our shows come from, and it's got a cute lead in, and it's not perpetrating what has happened as good. It's saying the icing on the cake, California taxpayer to pay lawyer fees for Bakersfield Bakery's win in religious liberty case. Basically, we have Tasty Bakery in Bakersfield that said they won a legal battle to refuse making case for LGBTQ couples citing religious beliefs. Now the taxpayers are going to pick it up. Well, the state of California picked up the case after it was already deemed that they're okay. And the state of California, which we know is our fantastic governor,
Yeah.
I said it last week and I got some heat on it. I'll say it again this week. I don't care about the heat. If you vote for Newsom because of his record in California, you need to probably think twice about it. He's done a terrible job, hasn't he?
I mean, people are leaving the state as fast as
In
they
record
can.
numbers.
I
He has
try
to
and
tax us.
just to be unbiased. I always try and like remove my opinion
I
sometimes,
do
and I say
too.
just watch what people do. Oh, things cost more, people leave. Not good. Things cost less, people come. That's good.
Yes.
Right?
I think
It's like
simple.
economics 101.
Well, hey,
if
we're supposed to clean up the homeless. That hasn't happened. They still need
No.
more money. They've tried to clean up they found out that the safe injection sites don't work.
Right.
I mean, what has he done? I mean, he's destroyed or trying to destroy the ag and oil industry here in California, especially in the San Joaquin Valley.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the positive? We have beaches still. You're in real estate, costs a lot of money still.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, But yeah, that's kind of like I mean, that's irrelevant to him, right? That's just because the beach. It's not him.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think if you're going to speak the truth, if you're a Christian, just on the simple fact of abortion alone, and you believe the Bible is the truth, how can you vote for Biden, Newsom, any of those guys because of their stance? It's not just we're okay with it. Like, they're very proactive about being intentional about that issue, but many others, right? So you believe the Bible's true. How can you possibly vote for people that stand against the Bible? And I'm not even talking about politics. I'm talking religion for a second, right?
Preach it, Mike.
Like, you know, we have truth, and one of the things, and this was in a sermon I heard when I was driving back from our camp, but it was God is truth and God is love, right? So if you're going to love people, you have to also tell them the truth. And if you're not telling people the truth, you're not loving them. And sometimes the truth doesn't always feel good, but it's the truth, right?
Well, there's two things Newsom has done.
Yeah,
He's
it's
told
true.
people in other states where abortion now is being put on the voting block for people to vote for it, or the state to decide if they want to make it legal or not legal. He's saying, well, come to California and get an abortion, right?
Yeah.
Then he doesn't like the fact that Walgreens has made a business decision not to sell the abortion pill in states that's illegal in.
Yeah.
That's good business.
They're
right?
following the law.
I mean, they're following the law.
But
he wants to quit doing business with them in California because they're following laws in other states. It's almost like, it's like he's running for president in 2024.
Oh, he is. I mean, he's been lobbying in other states. He knows for sure what's going on.
But if you look at the transgender issue, right? This is a conversation I had yesterday. These people, the truth is, they're hurting so deeply inside that they feel like, oh, if I just chop off some body parts, I'm going to feel better. And so we're doing that. It's not affecting their suicide rates. It's not improving their mental health. It's in fact, if anything, making it worse. And we're approaching a problem with just a solution that really is not a solution. It's flat out evil.
Well, we know the solution is Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I mean, that's
sorry,
it.
I'm getting a little bit on a
Well,
soapbox.
you are, Mike. I do like it though, because you're preaching it. So we just went. Hey, so we'll go on to the next one. How about that? I think we exhausted that one. Kyle, this one gets you, doesn't it?
Well, how can you attack your parents?
I don't know. Colin Kaepernick accuses his white adoptive parents of problematic upbringing, perpetrating racism. Wow, when you don't need him anymore.
The problem is, yeah, exactly. When you don't need him anymore, it's really easy to say. And then also, it's like,
you raised me wrong.
The key word in there is adoptive. Like, okay, try saying thank you.
Yeah. They chose to go rescue you.
Yeah.
Right? They chose to rescue you from a life of we have a good friend of ours, John Ward, right? Yes. That grew up in the system, in the foster system. This kid got rescued from the foster system. He's not a kid anymore, but as a kid, he got rescued from the foster system. And this is the thanks he's gonna give his parents as white people. Hey, and I was hearing something this morning. They were talking about, hey, every single white person is racist just by virtue of being white. No, that's Tom. I know you can speak to that.
Well, I told my family this week, and my wife did want me to tell my son-in-law, but I got called a WASP. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. And I looked at the person that said that. I go, so break that down a little farther for me, because I don't understand it. He goes, well, basically, you're racist. And I was like, wow. So you don't know much about me, because my son-in-law is Hispanic. Yeah. His grandparents came over as immigrants. My daughter's last name is Jimenez. That means my grandchildren are going to be half Hispanic, half white. I want them to be included. I am including them in everything I do. But I've always done that because I was the corporate secretary for the Latino Corporation.
And I would like to know more.
That's what I'm like, why would you pop off with that because of the way I look? Is it, I mean, they don't want to be judged. People don't want to be judged for how they look.
Well, and because really what it is, at the end of the day, it's not about racism, right? They're just trying to be divisive. And if they could find an issue to divide the nation and divide people, they're going to exploit that and use that to cause division and strife.
But isn't that one of the first Marxist steps?
It is.
Division.
It is, because that's the whole point. The point isn't, oh, people are racist. I don't know. Like, really, the people that are saying the people are racist are the actual ones that are the most racist, right?
Isn't that ironic?
Like, I mean, you look at, like, Joe Biden's one of the biggest ones. You look at his track record. I mean, Joe Biden, I'm being metaphoric here, so don't hold me to that. But he's practically as growing up a member of the KKK.
He was. I mean, basically, he voted for. He was. Hey, what was it?
And
Wallace?
you think at age of 80, what is he, like 875, that he's changed his ways? No, he hasn't changed his ways. He's just pretending, hey man, if you vote for me, you ain't black. Look, bull crap.
I thought you were gonna cuss, Mike.
I almost did. I had to pull it back. I had to pull it back.
Well, honestly, it's funny because Kyle was telling us this morning about the show about the white guy and the black guy who writes satirical jokes.
Yeah.
And the And the black guy would write them for the white guy to say, and the white guy would write them for the black guy to say, and it was funny.
Well, Michael talked about this on his show yesterday. Knowles.
Did he?
Yeah.
About that show?
No, but about the racism stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all we're saying is, so here we have a Newsweek article, and you could always pick up our articles because we drop them in the links.
Yep.
That says this is Newsweek's opinion. Americans deserve to know who funded BLM riots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's interesting. Newsweek is a liberal outlet, right?
Anyone that gave to BLM supported the riots.
So I don't know a lot about the story, but didn't like the founder or the owner
Resign.
Take the money and run?
Well, no, it's actually deeper than that. And if you go watch the Daily Wire, they did a documentary on this. Yeah. It was Candace, right?
Yes, Candace.
And it really goes deep dives. Like money was coming from everywhere. A lot of the big source was Soros, but we all knew that anyway.
But you too, Mike. I think people gave out of a pure heart.
Some of them, yeah.
It wasn't used as the way it was given.
Everybody
but they
can
took
get
the money
behind.
and they didn't run necessarily, but they used it to make themselves wealthy. And then to
some did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should go watch the documentary.
I agree with
Kyle.
what you said. Everybody gave it assumably, most people probably gave out of a pure heart. Who doesn't want a Black Life to matter?
It does matter to me.
But why
absolutely. But what's crazy is like what it feels like the backing is the intentions of some of these other people, right? Like it feels like it got derailed or hijacked, which is sad.
Hey, I'm white. And I do not want white supremacy.
No,
but
if you look at the whole Black Lives Matter thing, right? Like first of all, like the fact that we have to qualify as Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, right? But they don't actually believe that all lives matter, and frankly, they don't even believe that Black Lives Matter because the same people that are pushing the BLM bull crap are the same ones that are pushing the abortion bull crap. And do you understand where Planned Parenthood and the abortion stuff, like that rose out of white supremacy? That was very much a racist thing from its origins. And the same people that are pushing both, and they know it. There's some people that are ignorant, granted, at the grassroots level, but they know it.
I wait for number 4 to drop.
They know it. The people that are in the higher ups and leadership, and they don't actually care about Black lives. This is another thing to cause division.
So I want to learn. You're saying that a lot of these things, abortion, there's a few you start naming. All of that is stemmed from white supremacy.
Yes, it is.
Planned Parenthood.
And you can go research. I can send you some links on it.
And so,
if you guys want to know you're watching, I'll send you links too.
Do you think if people knew that, they'd be more apprehensive toward just following a cause?
It was the founder of Planned Parenthood, and they've just moved back from her.
Because we live in a world of cancel culture. Do you think that if people really grasp that and like, hey, did you know this person did this? Like, maybe it stopped getting some of the support it's getting.
What's crazy is if people really go backwards, they want to cancel things. It was the Democratic Party that supported the separation during the Civil War. And Republicans, Abraham Lincoln ran as a Republican.
Right.
I was a Democrat. When I first voted, I registered Democrat. And I tell people my party, I didn't leave my party left me. It did. I mean, my dad and I both left the Democratic Party at the same time. We voted for Jimmy Carter, and then we're like, that was a mistake. And then we voted for Ronald Reagan. And there again, we're not trying to convince you to vote. We're just trying to convince you to do your research. So we got this Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, that this week they had bad management. Kyle, Mike, you guys do business. You both have good management because you're in business. They had bad management. I work for a corporation, a large international agribusiness firm, that we had mismanagement and wasn't, and I stuck around. I stuck around. I was investigated because I was part of management, executive management. I had the computer department was in my control, and all the disappearance of the money went through the computer. But I was found innocent, and I was so glad because I wanted to clear my name.
Yep.
I wanted to clear my name. So now you got a bank that made some bad business decisions, terrible business decisions. And guess what? The people that made those terrible decisions kept their, well, I don't know if they fired them, but they lost. So this is what I heard. Now, check me out. This is what I heard the other day. I heard that they did not have a risk corporate manager, but they had an equity manager. So the risk person that was supposed to keep them from making risky deals the position was open, but they had an equity manager. So the bank shut down. Biden bailed them out, but now everybody's finding out that Newsom actually his 3 wineries basically were customers of the bank. He himself apparently was a customer of the bank. They have given to Biden's administration. They gave to.
So are you surprised they're getting bailed out?
No, not a bit.
I think what you're getting at.
Not a bit. I mean, and so you have Janet Yellen, who was in front of the Congress this week, and she says no bailout for the collapsed Silicon Valley Bank, and then they got bailed out. I mean, it's like what?
But Tom, I have so many opinions on this, right? But the thing is, like, this whole thing, the whole SVB, and then that ties back into what was the other failed thing that we talked about a few months ago that collapsed. It was financial institution. You weren't around then, Kyle. You were kind of on hiatus, but it's all crooked, right? As you got these politicians involved. But why did the bank collapse? The bank collapsed. Now, chiefly, you could say because of Biden, right? But
I'm waiting for you to cuss again.
I'm trying. But the bank collapsed because of the liberal ideas and liberal policies, and the money from that bank was being funneled to leftist ideologies, leftist organizations, liberal politicians. So of course the liberals are going to bail them out. But the thing is, their liberal policies is what caused the bank to collapse, because the bank was heavily invested and leveraged on government bonds, and it was the interest rates going up that caused the collapse.
And don't you love it when Biden says taxpayers aren't going to pay for it? Now that what that makes me know is he doesn't understand basic economics. When he says taxpayers aren't going to pay it, I mean, aren't taxpayers investors in banks?
So I think
that means everybody is going to have to pay a higher risk or taxed on your secured investments on banks. So those people are taxpayers.
Well, I
we are going to
believe
pay for
two
it.
things can be simultaneously true, right? And Ben and Michael both say this very often, probably Matt as well. But one, Biden probably is ignorant of economics and all that. Number two, even if he isn't, he's a liar, and everything he says is a lie, right? So he may or may not know the truth. Who knows? And even if he knew yesterday, he might not know today. But either way, no matter what, he's not going to tell you the truth, even if he does know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That runs full circle.
Well, it's circular reasoning, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Biden really knows what planet he's on when he wakes up until somebody tells him.
Yeah.
Green Jean-Pierre?
Until Kamala Harris tells him. I'm just saying it, guys. You're thinking the same thing, right?
They are.
I mean, we all see it and we're like, huh?
I'm not going to lie. Selfishly, I'm just glad interest rates came down a little bit. We need some houses to start moving.
I bet.
This caused the interest rates. They were going to raise them, and this collapse has caused the interest rates to actually take a 0.25% decrease. Yeah. And I don't know where it goes, the next few months. But I'm like, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
It's a roller coaster right now with well, we can't afford to bail every bank out, and you can't afford to honor or reward people for making bad business decisions. They made bad business. Honestly, that was the same thing for the company I work for. We made a bad business decision. We took a hit. We went into Chapter 11. We changed our business program, cut some things, and we were resold. And then I left the company after I cleared my name and moved to the ministry. And so they're still in business today.
So I have a question that I don't
though.
actually know the answer to, and either one of you.
So hopefully the bank, you know what? punitive punishment. Well, I'm not talking about prison. I'm talking about something that stings people. If you invest money into something and it's not, I think we hear Warren Buffett say this a lot. You've got to be able to invest, but you got to be, if you make a mistake, you're going to lose money, right? That's good. What happens? Mike, if you do something in business and it's not right, you lose money. Kyle, same thing. You lose money.
I got greedy when Tesla stock was as high as it was, and I bought way too many thousands of worth of Tesla at its peak, and I'm like, paying for that now.
Yeah. So when you bail people out, it doesn't let them learn anything.
My question, Tom, and you can answer this. You may not know the answer, but did they knowingly or intentionally make bad business decisions, or were they just ignorant and naive?
Well,
are either acceptable?
Well, I think now there's a lot of bank managers out there that are thinking,
one's worse
wow.
than the other.
So how do you stop this? And that'd be the question I'd ask. How do you stop this? Because if you're another bank out there and you make a bad decision, then
hold people responsible for their own decisions.
Well, see,
don't hold me responsible for somebody else's bad decisions.
As a church, we had a mortgage with San Joaquin Bank here in town, and San Joaquin they were overextended. FDIC came in and shut them down and sold their assets. Our asset went to Citizens Bank. So we had to have a new relationship with a banker and all that kind of stuff. And we refinanced with Citizens, 4 years into the deal. And but we came back in and we felt comfortable with Citizens because once we put the refinancing package together, they bought off on us. Churches always aren't secure deals. There's a lot of banks that don't like to lend to churches because sometimes they default. No one wants to foreclose on a church. That's just not good for business.
Right.
Not good PR. So when San Joaquin went under, Citizen got us. They came and told us, churches weren't in our portfolio, but help us believe in churches, and we did. And they started a division to give to religious organizations. So we've been through this with a bank that got closed down. The investors lost, the officers lost, but we got moved to another bank. They took a risk on us. We proved ourselves, and then through that, they started a religious lending arm of their corporation because they saw the benefits of it. So you can become a stronger industry by letting the process happen. I've been through ag where it happened and it got better, and through the religious. So I don't know if that helps or hurts, but there it is. So I think that we exhausted it, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, I think
Unless you want to cuss again, Mike.
No, I won't. But I think the last story you had up is a good place to leave us on, because it is good news, right? And the good news is of the Republicans endorsing DeSantis, and the part, and I don't want to say DeSantis, Trump. I'd vote for either of them. But what I do want to say is we do have another chance to at least make a difference and impact the problem that we're having now. And if you guys are out there and you're watching, and again, remember what I said earlier. If you're a believer, if you're a man or woman of God, and you're voting for someone that their complete platform goes against everything in the Bible, you got to rethink your Christianity.
I just think, and I'll comment on that. I think people want someone who's a little more palatable, right? Like, sure, can two policies align with everything you want, but you want the person who's a little more palatable. I don't know if I'm sinning for laughing at this, but I sometimes think I'm like, man, that kind of was not good to say.
Yeah.
But when Trump
you're talking
said,
about Trump.
Yeah, with Trump, when he came out and he said it was the coronavirus was the Kung flu. And
you laugh.
It is a hilarious joke, but it's also that would probably be offensive to some people.
But can't you just say that it came from China, which we all now know it came from China.
We all already knew.
But my point is, you can.
I can agree with you.
You just want someone who's a little more palatable.
But the good thing that Trump had going for him, that I don't know how Ron DeSantis is gonna go with this, because I do believe at some point Ron DeSantis will be a president. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be in 2024 or if it's going to be further down the road. But Trump is unpredictable, and so it keeps our enemies on their toes.
Well, you know what?
But it keeps the people on their toes too. And I'm not
off balance.
Yeah, it makes people a little bit nervous. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, I can tell you as a Republican, I'd go, oh, please don't say anything dumb. Please don't. And like I'm talking about, I supported the party, right? Like he's a great businessman.
Yes.
Great books, great ideas.
And I think that's why.
But you just go, don't say anything that's going to get us in trouble.
But what's crazy is he said things dumb on purpose. He's not actually dumb. He's actually
No,
incredibly intelligent.
But
he said things dumb on purpose to throw people off.
But let's say this now. Hey, hope you appreciate this because we're now coming on a real serious topic about Trump. I remember where I was. I was driving back down the Grapevine when my wife and I were in the car and we wanted to listen to the first debate between Biden and Trump. It was hard for me to listen to because I thought Trump was a bully. I thought he was not reasonable or fair with the way he conducted himself on that first interview. And I do think that lost him a lot of vote. We turned it off. My wife goes, can we turn this off? And we voted for Trump. But as we listened to it, it turned me off. I used to cringe. I was like, oh, he didn't say that. Oh, let the man talk. You know, it just, I felt it kept me off guard, off balance every time I'd hear Trump. And it was, not saying I didn't agree with him, but I've always adhered to this fact, Mike and Kyle, that it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right. And so a good example of that, we know the guy's intelligent. We know he's, and look, I'm standing here with enough maturity to be able to say that, he's not flawless. So whenever he had mentioned, the drinking of the bleach to kill no, he didn't technically say drink bleach. But yeah, I'll tell you what, if a Democratic Party had said that, we'd probably be riffing on it and taking it and spinning it. It's like, so of course you can expect the same in return. So it's like, just say it better.
Yeah.
Like we know what you're saying.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's how you say it. So it's like, just maybe say it in a different way and you won't put a target on yourself, Like, there has to be a sterilization process, maybe.
I think we all enjoyed the debates and watching him. But he could have behaved better.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it comes back to the word, I just think palatable. You can get your point across. You can have a stance. You can have an opinion. But you also want to be palatable because if you are, you create less resistance toward what it is you're trying to accomplish.
I agree. Mike, you want to cuss and send us out last time? He's waiting. He wants to drop it.
Oh, he's a firecracker today.
Well, he said he was like, my voice is gone.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get
You
mellow.
found your voice, Michael.
We thought we were going to get mellow Mike. We got Magic Mike.
I still got all my clothes on.
Oh,
we know Magic Mike.
We need somebody to make that T-shirt.
Oh, that's good.
Mellow Mike. I love it.
But y'all do have an opportunity to fix potentially a mistake that you might have made by voting for the wrong person in the past.
We're not telling him how to vote, Mike.
The new election,
I'm not.
you're saying?
Well, no, I'm not going to tell him how to vote, but I do want him to realize where do the values align.
Be an educated voter.
Yeah, be an educated voter.
Hey, drop us a comment. If you want to complain about Mike, send it straight to him. If you want to comment,
tag him all over Instagram and Facebook. He'll love it.
We're open to criticism.
He'll even reshare it.
Hey, this is an opinion show.
I got thick skin. I don't care.
He does. So, hey,
have a great day. God bless.